Hey guys, it's Wahima and welcome to Dark Skin Divas, a channel that supports you loving and embracing your dark skin. Welcome to my first hot topic video. So today's hot topic is, why is YouTube so white? This was a question that was brought forth by MeowItsLucy and brought to me by Ahsantetheartist here on YouTube. Ahsante brought up the fact that some black people might feel attacked or belittled in their everyday life, and to come online and share yourself with the world might be a little daunting and scary. MeowItsLucy suggested that it might have something to do with privilege and the access to technology. I personally think that both of these ladies are correct, but I want to add to this conversation and I want to expand this conversation. So to expound on the idea, expound? Is that a word? Let me look that up. I can't just be saying things. You can't just be saying anything you want, Wahima. Bend or expound? Bend or expound, which one is it? Now, to expand on the idea that some people of color may not have the access to technology, I would just like to add that sometimes it's cultural. Sometimes the culture does not believe technology is worth it. For instance, I have a lot of people in my family and people that I know who don't have Wi-Fi in the house. To me, I think that's crazy. I personally think that having Wi-Fi and having your child have access to technology and a wealth of knowledge is more important than them having television. Now, I don't know how it is in white culture, but I do know, and I will say, that sometimes in families, namely my family, I'm wary to say that I am on YouTube because there is this idea that me putting myself and putting information and thoughts in my head out to the world is somehow narcissistic. There's definitely an idea in certain communities that you wanting to put your opinions or your feelings forward is somehow lifting yourself up. It can be seen as overvaluing yourself, thinking that you're better than other people, acting white. Perhaps some of the real reasons that we don't see a lot of people of color on YouTube is because they just don't feel like their voices need to be heard or their voices are even valid. That is something that is taught throughout the generations, and it's something that is taught by our media. Look at our representation in media. It's gotten better for sure, but it's not as much as white people. White people are vastly overrepresented in the media. They sell us anything from toothpaste to cat food, clothing to perfume. For those brave black people who do get on YouTube, there is a certain pressure to produce certain kinds of videos. Personally, I feel like a lot of people of color may not be interested in watching me put on makeup or talk to you about anything, and they don't relate to me. They don't think that we can relate to each other, and that's fine. Maybe many would-be POC content creators are feeling like they have to be a little showboaty, or they have to give the people what they want, and they just can't come on here and be who they want to be who they really are, because it won't be accepted. Now, I don't know how much of that is internal stereotyping, keeping each other down as a people, or if it has something to do with the media, or both, telling us who we should be, how we should be represented, and what we should look and sound like when we're on camera. A really interesting example of this is how it works in the movies. So in Hollywood, there is such thing as Black Hollywood and Hollywood. Movies that have an overwhelming majority of black people in them are considered black movies. Whereas movies that have an overwhelming majority of white people in them are considered movies. We should be able to see whatever movie we want to see. It should be presented to us in the same fashion as all movies. One movie shouldn't be marketed more in one neighborhood to a certain group of people than the other. They should all be out there equal to have people watch them. And I know that Hollywood is just a money-making machine, and so a lot of times you want to just specifically spend the money on the people who you know are going to support your movie. But the truth is that not many white people can even relate to a lot of the white movies that are out there. A lot of the white movies that are out there are really portraying white people who are privileged white people who can afford to have a big lavish wedding and then at the end of the movie run off with their best friend. White people who can get stranded on a deserted island and talk to a ball for an entire movie. But honestly, for the same reasons that I want and love to watch My Big Fat Greek Wedding, it's the same reasons that I want and love to watch Friday. It's just people telling their different stories about their life in America. And I'm interested in that. Why aren't we all interested in learning something new? So sure, there are more white people on YouTube, for sure. And I think that definitely has a lot to do with the access to technology and the know-how, the time, the understanding and support from family, and just the idea that you can be a part of this global and bigger thing that's happening in the world. And maybe some people of color don't feel they have that access. So now I want to hear from you. Why do you think YouTube is so white? All right, that's the end of this video, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day.